Welcome to the Lead Pedal Podcast with your host, Bruce Outridge, where he talks all things trucking. Now let's get rolling.
Hey everybody, how we doing today? Welcome to another edition of the Lead Pedal Podcast. This one is episode number 1127. For you owner-operators, we're going to give you some tips today. We sat down with Ken Robson. He's with Rims Transport. He's in their dump and bulk tanker division. And we were talking about Rims a lot in there specifically, but we were also talking about some owner-operator tips which are going to help you run better. So here we go. Let's, well, first of all, let me tell you about Rims before we get into that interview. You know, Rims Transport, they're out of Hamilton, Ontario. They're basically a flatbed. They've got a couple divisions. They got a flatbed division, which hauls steel and flatbed works. They've got a bulk tanker division, and they've got a end dump division. They don't run very far. They stay around 500-mile radius. They've got, they're looking for tandem people to run the U.S. They've also got multi-axle running U.S. And they don't run far because they want to keep you there, keep you home. You don't have to have your own trailer. They'll give you a trailer. You just need to bring your truck with you. And they are looking for people who are serious about being successful as owner-operators. They've got a great culture over there of safety, and they also got a great culture of making sure you're successful. So if you're looking for flatbed work, bulk tanker, or end dump work, I would suggest that you take a look at Rims Transport. You can go to rimstransport.com to find out all the details, or just give one of the team a call there. Hey, make sure you tell them that the Lead Pedal Podcast sent you if you do that for sure. All right, let's get on to the interview with Mr. Ken Robson of Rims Transport. So you're telling us about the dump site. So you're telling us that somebody that's got really big truck payments, you know, you've got dedicated runs basically for that coke oven side.
You know, on our dump side, there's really three different sides to the dump.
Right.
Like there's our tandem US board.
Okay.
That goes from really mostly southern Ontario out to Windsor, into like we're going around the lake.
Okay.
Like, you know, we're Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, a little bit of West Virginia.
Yep.
That's kind of our core. It's about a I don't know if I'd say 400 miles, like 350 mile loop.
Okay.
They do well. You know, any truck can be on that as long as you have a wet line and you're safe. And ideally, people have training. Nobody's born with a dump trailer experience.
No, I'm not.
I mean, the right person will train. Yeah. I mean, that doesn't bother me. And we have to do our part in training people. You know, so that's a good move. Then we have our 4-axle division that kind of runs the other way, and it kind of runs more east and upstate New York, so it kind of goes around the other side of the lake and runs around Ontario a bit. Like we'll get into Quebec, up to Trois-Rivières, Montreal, Laval, into those zones. Ogdensburg, New York, Keysville, almost touching Vermont. Again, they're not that far out. If you leave Sunday night, you're there Monday morning. Like you've got your rest, you're reloaded, you're home Monday night, leave back out Tuesday. Kind of do get 2 1 week, 3 the next, so it bounces out at 2.5.
Normal.
Then our heavy local, I'm running from Hamilton to Nanticoke. That's again like a totally different, same line of work, but different. You know, so that's where we. You know, if a person comes in with a big highway truck, it's like, listen, you're running local, and there's just, you're going to beat up a really good truck doing that. There's just, you want to be careful what type of equipment you put on what runs. You know, it's a bit tougher on the equipment, that run. That's heavy. You're pulling up the Red Hill 4 times a day. I mean, so when we get different people, you know, we try to sit down with them and we'll go over all the revenues. And we have, it's nothing crazy, but like a calculations spreadsheet we put together, and we'll show a person like based off, you know, as long as they give us honest numbers, what their truck payments are, what their fuel mileages are averaging or running at based on, you know, the weights that we're going to haul, we can really show them the success rate. Like this is what you should generate. This is where you should be successful financially. You know, I guess for example, we had a guy who's extremely nice person, came aboard in an older Western Star, he rebuilt the motor, it was tuned way up, it was like his baby, and the fuel mileage just sucked. Like, there's no other way to say it. Like, we have guys running our tandem dumps that are getting 8.5, 9 miles to the gallon. this guy averaged out. He came into us. He's telling us he can't make money. He's a bit upset.
Yep.
So you get looking at things. And he's getting 4.5 miles to the gallon.
Wow.
So you kind of.
And every mile is big money in trucking,
Yeah,
right?
I don't know the
The
exact.
guy making, I think it's like,
It's almost 12,000 a year.
Yeah,
10 to
but-
12,000 a year, depending on the dollar and the
Yep.
fuel values. But yeah, so you try to explain, you're losing 50, 60,000 a year,
Yeah.
blowing it out your pipes.
that's right.
Like there's your new truck payment
Yeah.
and money for yourself. Like
Yeah.
just by running the wrong equipment.
Yeah,
So as much as you think you're saving by having an older piece of equipment with a small payment, but you're getting horrible fuel
Yeah.
and no warranty. So where's your maintenance? So
Yeah.
you're probably, as much as you don't think you're backwards,
Yeah.
you're
People look at the payment. I've found that over time too,
Yeah.
that actually the most successful ones are the ones that are flipping every 4 or 5 years and
Yeah.
getting into a newer vehicle, and that kind
yeah,
of
like
thing.
we kind of, everybody's different, but
Yeah.
we have numbers that we show guys.
Yeah.
Like if you're within this threshold and that payment has a good unit with a
Yeah.
warranty, you're going to be extremely successful.
Okay.
Whether it's here or wherever you're working.
Right.
If you're, we've had people come in and they've had some big payments, and we're like, we think our drivers do well.
Yeah.
Like if they go to work, they do well.
So you can make money in trucking, because this is something I'm hearing, Ken, that you can't make any money in trucking. That
you can make money in trucking, but you got to know where your money's going.
yeah,
Like,
that's right.
If you're not, it's not magic. If you're not willing to put in just a fair week, you don't got to go crazy. You don't
Yeah.
need to be married to the truck. But if you don't put in a fair week,
Yeah.
you're not going to be successful.
Yeah.
And you got to work for a place that pays you well.
Yeah.
We pay, I think we pay above and beyond. We
Right.
do well with that.
Yeah.
But if all your money's going out your stack or it's going to do a maintenance shop every
Yeah.
week, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're working for those two things,
Right,
not
right.
yourself.
Right.
So you need a truck that's reliable, something with a warranty. That's not going to take everything you earn.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what happens.
And you supply the trailers on the dump side as well. That's
Absolutely. We have some drivers that have their own trailer.
right.
It just becomes a different pay scale.
Yeah.
Generally, we supply all the trailers.
And you were saying it's very hard for them to switch around because of the type of truck they might have, right? So what if I come on and I'm get onto one of those runs, but I find it's not for me. It's either too far or it's whatever, or it's too close. Manacles might be too close.
Yeah.
What's the opportunities? Is there opportunities to move around or try another run, or is it?
Our dump side's a bit. It has that flexibility. You can go from the like the 4-axle side to the tandem side pretty easy. We do have some other local heavy work, but generally the guys that are pulling our 5 axles like up and down Highway 6, they're pretty dedicated to that.
Yeah.
Generally they don't want to leave home
Right.
to be across the road into the US side, but our tandem side and our 4-axle side you can. And at least with the wet line, if it's the right driver, I mean, it's easy enough to leave the wet line on, and if you're maybe excited about the flatbed world, it's easy to transition that way. As long as there's a space and there's the right train.
Right.
Definitely. Like, you're never stuck like where the truck's not good for anything else. But
I had a lot of dedicated work in my career, and it's great. You can plan a barbecue. What you're going to get paid basically. Everything's pretty well the same every week. But it can get monotonous and a little boring at the end of the day. After a year of running, I can't imagine running number 6 for a year. I want to blow my, But so it's nice to be able to switch somewhere maybe for a couple weeks, stretch your legs, longer run, whatever, different
we
scenery.
can do that. Our tandem side allows us that where, and it automatically just with the markets will mix up.
Yeah.
Like we might have, a month where we're looking to get into the Ohio side because all like in the summer, all great part of it, like all the golf course sands coming back.
Okay.
So we're looking to get down that way.
Okay.
And then, as that slows down, our next sets of loads home for the next 4 or 5 months might be, on the New York side, but a bit south. So they're automatically going to see some different things. And, we're in the commodities game.
Right.
So it changes up anyway. So we get some runs that are dedicated that every week the guys just do like, we do 3 down, 3 back, 2 down, 2 back. But then we always have a mix where they're still seeing a lot of different destinations. So it's a good mix. We don't, if it's the right people on the lane, we really don't get a lot of turnover on it, but it is hard to attracting people that have a wet line or want to do the investment on a wet line. Again, we'll pay for it. And just charge it back over time. We'll invest. We're not afraid of that. As long as it's the right person and we're committed, we're good.
I noticed on the flatbed side in the past, they've hired newer drivers, like an owner-operator might have a couple truck or hires. Do you do that kind of work on the bulk side? Or I would think the training's flatbed training is bad too, but I mean, what you're doing, I think that might be a little different.
We'll train, if you own your truck, we'll train you 100%. We don't branch off that too much where if a guy wants a couple trucks on. Subcontractors, not a problem. They're not on our insurance. But when it's on our insurance, we're very risk cautious. So finding a driver for a month while I go on vacation, not gonna happen.
For my truck, no. You would rather just get somebody else with a truck or find another company that could fill in.
And we don't like to have the conflict where, if you're going on vacation, say somebody's driving your truck, that person answers to dispatch. We don't want the owner-operator calling them, well, I don't want my guy doing this. I'll call him, he does this. They'll make it complicated. Dispatch needs to do what they need to do. And our big thing is confidence in our drivers. Especially on the dump side, right? There's a lot of, you get the right driver. We have a lot of really good drivers on it. But there's always risk, right? So what we carry is important to us. It's got to float. If it's really sticky, like we're not into soil, we're not into the tip over factor. Everybody that has dumps knows the pain of having
I've seen them.
Has the pain of a rollover and the expense, let alone never wanting anybody to get hurt.
That's right.
But take away that factor. If nobody ever got hurt, the rollover risk and the expense and the cost is incredible.
I can imagine.
Like to a smaller company, you could wipe them out. I mean, if you lose a trailer and a truck, depending on the year of the equipment, you're $100,000 to $200,000, and if you're self-insured, you're just giving the money away. And if you are insured, are they going to continue to cover you or cover that driver? Then can you get the availability on equipment to replace it? So it's painful. And it's dangerous. So we're cautious.
What about delivery on the dump side? Are these, you see dump trucks lined up everywhere, and I don't know if that's product specific. I know nothing about dumps, so I've never hauled it, so I don't really know. I'm just going by what I see when I pass by a quarry or something. Is it fairly? It's fairly quick to get out.
You get into when you work with the quarries, like it's pretty quick in and out of those places. I mean, it's like you might have an hour wait here and there, but generally when you're doing what we're into, we don't have a lot of waiting time. I guess like anything, the guys that run local that are doing the asphalt side, that are on the side of the road with 10 trucks lined up, they're paid by the hour. So God bless.
I've never worried about the money in my trucking career. I've always worried about how much fun I'm having. So to me, that would drive me nuts to do that all the time. I'd rather be moving and make less, but be moving.
Right. People just want to work, right? They want to get to work. The quarries generally, those guys are good to work with. You're in and out pretty good. Even if there's 10 trucks, those guys have enough equipment. They get you in and out in a pretty good time. And when you're dumping, it's the same. As long as the guy's patient, that's the biggest thing with the dump, right? You got to know what you're doing. You got to be trained. You got to know what you're doing. You got to understand your surroundings.
And it's percentage work as well. Just it's percentage paid, the same as the tanker and flatbed.
It's per ton generally. Generally, it's per ton rate.
So it's pretty predictable. You know how much you can fit on a trailer.
Our guys know. Like when they're going into the U.S. or even our guys going east, they'll pretty much know in their head what their revenue is before they do the trip. Yeah, they do well.
If they're not dedicated, are they on? I've just heard this from other drivers. They're on a bidding system, so they get offered a load. They say, I I don't want to do it, or it's not as much money. They've calculated something in their head. Is there that kind of system in? Is that I hear that in the flatbed side a lot, not necessarily with RIM, but with other.
We have a little bit of that where, listen, not everything is perfect on the rating world. And, depending on the commodity, some things, you can have two things come and move in 100 miles, and one thing we can get this rate, and the other one just pays less. Just the commodity's not worth as much. Right. So sometimes we tell our guys, like, sometimes there's the good with the bad. Might not pay as much getting to the States, but it pays us amazing coming home.
Right.
And it's something going down. So, there's a balancing act sometimes. But I mean, if we're working for somebody and the rates just don't work, then we probably just won't do it.
Right. So you're not.
We're not out to haul it for fun.
It takes the fun out of it when you do it.
Listen, everything's expensive.
No.
I mean, even for our guys, like insurance. Fuel's fuel. Like, they have their truck payments. They have their life. They have their quality of life, which they need. So we don't expect people to work for free. And same with running the company. Like, we have our overhead, so hauling cheap freight doesn't really work.
Plus, it gives you a bad taste. You're going down the road and you're going, and the guys talk. Whether you think they do or not, the guys all talk about, the rates, and they're going, I'm getting half for this one. I'm not making any money on this one. Well, maybe you'll make double on the next one. As long as I think over time, and I think that's how you have to look at it over time.
You have to look at the week as a whole. Because Monday might not be great, but it sets up the end of the week for a 6 house.
Right.
And that's part of when we talk with our drivers, and the jam's not at the beginning of the week. Like, all your expenses get paid probably Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
It's like the tax cutoff. You're good after Wednesday, right? Before Wednesday, you're just paying for the truck.
Guys that come into work and work hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and they're like, I worked hard for 3 days. Like, I'm taking Thursday, Friday off. And they're like, I didn't make any money. It's like, because the last 2 days is the jam, and you didn't go get it.
Yeah, and I found you can't be late on the first trip, man. If your first trip goes wrong, the week usually goes wrong. You can never catch it back up, right?
Hard to catch, especially on the 500 mile and in. Monday's important. Where you are Monday morning sets your week up.
Okay.
I mean, that gets you, not every week, but that kind of sets you up where that sets up your Friday. Like, do you want to be parking the truck Friday morning, going home and being home Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and having a great week? Or do you want to be parking that thing at 10 o'clock Friday because Monday morning you just weren't there? And you're still leaving Sunday night or Monday morning. Like,
I've always said, when you're on the road, go to work. Go to work. Don't go to play. Like, you could play at home. Like, go to work. If you're gonna work. Be sensible about it. Be efficient. All that kind of stuff.
I think the people that succeed here and at any company, like, even though you're a driver, if you're an owner operator, the guys that understand their money and that are businessmen do extremely well. They understand the importance of, whether it's Monday morning or the good with the bad. I mean, hopefully it's all good, but reality of, if we're someplace that we don't want to be and the only thing home pays just all the drivers' fuel and all the drivers' wages, like, there'll be times where we look at the rate coming in and we're like, if I can collect the tolls, because we cover all the toll costs, and give everything else to the truck so it makes the truck successful, that's what it is. Like, we do that. Hopefully we don't have to do it a lot, but I mean, it's not uncommon that we'll do that to make the drivers succeed. We'll take the hit. But
Is that a rims culture, or is that just you and Gene are really good guys? Like, what is it? Because I mean, Gene says it almost word for word. He says the same thing. We'll take the hit. We'll give it to the guys. I love it. That's what you want. But it's hard for companies to do that because we all need to make money and be profitable. Right?
It's both. Gene and I both have we've been in it a long time, and we understand what guys need. But at rims in general, Murray and Joseph, they're big on seeing people succeed. And
if they succeed, you guys succeed, right? If they don't,
we're all owner-operators, so it's not, if we upset a driver and we're like, well, it's okay, we have 5 company trucks. Like, if he quits, it's an owner-operator. It doesn't matter. We're all owner-operators. So we're only as successful as they are.
If they take a piece of equipment which affects her run and so
and
forth.
if they're not successful, we're done. So in a way, like we work for them, right? Like we have to keep them busy.
Good.
We have to keep our trucks moving. So.
Is there dedicated dispatchers for the different divisions?
Pretty much. Okay. Yeah, like there's always overflow or vacation coverage.
Right.
But 90% of the time I would say yes. Like our heavy stuff.
Can you put that coil in the dump? That's where you go wrong with a mixed dispatch, right?
Yeah, just lay it down sideways.
Lay it sideways, they won't be able to get it. I can't fit the coil in the hole of this tanker. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, there's a reason. Awesome. They're separate divisions completely. When it comes to flatbed and bulk, it's complete separate dispatch. Okay. We have Keenan who does our tankers and our US tandem and our heavy 4-axle. And then Jane does our local heavy plus our dedicated runs up and down to Nanacook. So.
Well, sounds like a good place. Sounds like there's owner-operators making money here. It sounds like a good culture to work for. Well, that's, I think, all we need. That's all I need to work. I just don't have a truck. We'll get one of those by the morning. Thanks very much, Ken. Appreciate your time today.
No problem. Thank you.
Hey, folks, are you looking to keep your driver profiles up to date? That's right. Those days of paper resumes where you forget to update it and nobody sees it, those are long gone. We're in 2023, my friends, and that means that you need to get yourself online. And Driver Verified is the way to do that. Just create a free profile that has all of your information there. It has your resume. You can add awards. You can add photos. You can add employment records, all that kind of stuff. Keep it all up to date. And the cool thing about that is, a lot of times people search you out for a better job, and it is searchable. So if companies are looking for someone that fits the criteria that you have, they may be able to reach out to you and offer you a better job. It's also verified by the insurance people and by a lot of those that are looking to, so your employment records and all that are verified through the system, making it less about fraud and more about you. So you can set up a free profile anytime you want. You only pay if you send out reports, and who knows, maybe somebody will pay that for you too. So check out driververified.com. That's where you want to go. Set up your new profile today. That way you've got all your stuff in one place, and you can update it whenever you need. Okay, that was a great interview we had with Ken. Hopefully you got some great owner-operator tips. And by the way, Driver Verified is for owner-operators and drivers, so if you're an owner-operator, you might want to look into that too. He did some great tips there as well. While we're talking about owner-operators and success, let's talk about RS2000 Tax Services. That's right, RS2000 Tax Services helps owner-operators and truck drivers based in Ontario, Canada. They are taxes are coming up, my friends. You want to make sure that you're ready to go, and you want to get people that are interested in what you do and why you do it. RS2000 specifically works in the trucking and farming industries. They have people that will come to your location. Their head office is in Kamoka, Ontario, but you don't need to go there. I mean, who's going to find Kamoka anyway? So head over to rs2000tax.com. Check out the team, and they will reach out to you, and they'll have someone that comes right to your location, so you don't have to take time away from your family or be on the road taken away from your miles. Make sure you tell them we sent you if you go there, rs2000tax.com, and just say, hey, Bruce sent me over here and wants to know more about the program. They will certainly help you out. Hey, while we're talking about programs, follow us on all of our social programs: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn. Lead Pedal Radio has its new Instagram account, so go follow us over there as well. And check out some of the programs we've got. We've got a bunch of new radio shows that started, and we're going to be doing a lot for 2024. Looking forward to it. All right, my friends, be good out there. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. That should leave it wide open there. Be safe. And if you're looking for an owner-operator place to go to work, check out RIMS. All right, bye for now. See ya.
This has been another episode of the Lead Pedal Podcast. For more information or to subscribe to the podcast, visit theleadpedalpodcast.com, and be sure to follow the podcast on Facebook and Twitter.